So now that we have our drums arranged, I think we can start by adding a few transitional effects like impacts, risers, downlifters, stuff like that, because that's just gonna really help build energy and create like a space and atmosphere during this section. So let's go into the Oblivion sample pack and we're just gonna look through some of these effects. I think I wanna start with an impact. I actually think I like the first one. It's airy and it has a lot of low end, so I'm going to collapse all these tracks and I'm going to make a new track outside of all of our groups. And I'm just going to drag this impact onto the beginning of verse 1.1. Let's turn this down because I know this sound is going to be really loud. So we can set this to like -9 dBs. We'll call this track to impact and we're gonna hit Command G to group it. We'll title the group effects. And I like to make the effects this like light green color. So then we'll copy this to verse 1.2 and also the beginning of build 1.1. So then I'm gonna do this trick I like to do to enhance the transition. I'm gonna highlight this entire impact except for the beginning of it. And I'm gonna hold Option and drag it over to the left before the impact. And then I'm gonna hit Shift Tab to open up the clip view and I'm gonna hit reverse. This way we can have like a nice reverse impact going into the impact. So let's listen to that. So that sounds great, and that's really gonna enhance the transition once we start making the build. So let's add another sound. I'm gonna hit Command T to make a new track, and let's look through some of these downlifters. I think I'm gonna go with this downlifter 2 though, because it's airy and it has a crash. So we can turn this down as well, and let's listen to this. I think it's good at -8. We don't want it to be too loud because it's just a complementary piece. We want to be able to feel it and hear it, but we don't want it to be the standout sound. Then I'm going to copy that to the beginning of build 1.1 as well. I don't want to put it at the beginning of 1.2 because I feel like it'll just get too repetitive and it'll lose its impact. What I am going to do is I'm going to put a different sound at verse 1.2. So I'm actually going to use this serum preset that we have in the Elysium serum presets. So let's make a new MIDI track and we'll open up serum. And there's this preset called Rise and Fall, which I really like. And basically all we're gonna do is be automating this first macro knob and we'll be able to create downlifters and risers with it. So let's make a MIDI clip right here at verse 1.2. Doesn't matter what note we hit because this isn't a tonal sound, it's just white noise. So we'll double click and then hit legato. And if we press play and solo this, we have this like panning white noise. But what we can do is we can automate this first macro. So this just is so useful for making transitions. So I'm gonna click that and let's start by making a downward shape because we want this to be a downlifter and then it's gonna turn into a riser over here. So that sounds good. Let's hear what it sounds like in the context of the rest of the effects. That sounds really good. It sounds really clean. And I like having a different downlifter at this part than the one we have on verse 1.1 and build 1.1. Because like I said, if we just duplicate the same effects over and over, they're gonna lose their impact. So another sound we can also use is we can use crashes as transitional pieces. And I really like doing this because it blends really well with the drums. So we're gonna find where we have our crashes in the drop and we're gonna use these crashes. So let's just copy this across and we'll put this on verse 1.1, verse 1.2, and the build. Then I think we have some reverse crashes over here. We're just gonna copy those over as well. So we'll put a reverse crash here right before verse 1.1. And then, like I said, we're gonna put one leading into build 1.1 because we really wanna highlight the transitions going into the breakdown and into the build up. So let's just listen to everything that we have so far, the effects and the drums. And that's pretty much all the drums and the effects we're gonna have for the breakdown. We're gonna add some synths and vocals later, but I really like to just make the foundation of this breakdown before we do any of that, because it'll just make the synths and the vocals sound that much better.